Didn't see you there. My name's Cameron, and just like you, I'm an ITS technician. Today, we're going to talk about 4 things. The first being how to use the new iPhone inspection sheet. The second being how to properly update the Cubby Chalkboard. The third being which checkout container to use. And the fourth, how to help a customer navigate through the My San Diego portal to find the campus hours. Let's get started. So first, let's talk about checking in and out iPhones with the new inspection sheet, which can be found here. Make sure that you're using this inspection sheet and not the old one. This one has 2 sections, whereas the old one was just one big one. Make sure that you are present and watching when the customer is filling out the iPhone inspection sheet, both when they are checking in and out the iPhone. You will have them inspect the phone on their own. So when it says, is the frame bent or dented, they will be taking a look at it and you will be standing right next to them, making sure that you are there to answer any questions that they have or to assist them in the analysis. Make sure that you have the customer sign their name, and then you, as the ITS Help Desk technician, also sign your name. Make sure that you're not forgetting to include the regular check-in and out form, in addition to the iPhone inspection sheet. So now that we've talked about using the new iPhone inspection sheet to check in and out iPhones, we're now going to talk about updating the Cubby Chalkboard. When putting a customer's computer or iPhone in the Cubby, make sure that you update the chalkboard. Make sure that you get a towel and use the water dispenser to very lightly wet it, and then walk it over to the chalkboard. Here is a great example of outdated information. So since we put our computer in Cubby number 6, and if we look at the corresponding chalkboard number, this is outdated information. Clearly this is not Boison's Dell with the little man as a miscellaneous. So we're going to go ahead and use this lightly wetted towel to erase this information, making sure not to erase any other information. While waiting for the water to dry, go ahead and make sure that you're checking all the other cubbies to make sure that those are updated as well. So if I'm looking at Cubby number 7, this is for Goncalo C, and it says HPPC. And if I look, this is Cubby number 7 for Goncalo C, but it also has a charger, so I'm going to also write charger. Make sure that you're including the ticket number, the name of the customer, the computer brand, and also miscellaneous. So far, we've covered checking in and out iPhones using the new check-in and out forms. We've also talked about the proper procedure for updating the Cubby chalkboards, and now we only have 2 more topics to cover. So let's get to the third one, the new checkout containers. Whereas before we used to have one big tub filled with different dividers for each section, now we have convenient 4 separate containers, the first of which says no charge checkout forms. These are for tickets that, as you can imagine, have no charge. On the ticket, it should say $0 in the grand total. Our next container says iPhone checkout forms. These forms are only for iPhones. We do not accept credit card payments for iPhones. Our next container says credit checkout forms. These are for tickets that are only paid for with credit cards. And our final container says cash checkout forms. These are for tickets that are not iPhone related that are paid for with cash. Please make sure you are taking note of which container the ticket is actually supposed to go in. So far we've talked about using the iPhone inspection sheet for checking in and out iPhones. We've also talked about updating the Cubby Blackboard with the proper procedure. And finally, we've talked about using the correct containers for putting the checkout forms into. Now, let's talk about our final topic, which is helping customers find campus hours through the My San Diego portal. Have the customer go to their portal. Click on the Torero Life tab, and then click on Campus Hours from the drop-down menu. The customer can then type in the name of the office that they are trying to reach in the search bar and then hit enter. Then, the office, location, contact information, and hours should appear. So what have we learned today? Today we talked about 4 topics. The first of which is checking in and out iPhones with the new Inpsection Sheet. The second thing we learned was how to update the Cubby Chalkboard properly. The third thing that we learned about was how to use the correct checkout form container. And finally, we learned about how to help students find campus hours through the My San Diego portal. Don't be afraid to refer back to this email or ask a lead in case you have any further questions.
You dig? Hey.